Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 46 of Celestial Journey. I expect this will likely be the last episode, but I guess we'll find out as we get closer. Maybe there's a bit more work to do. In any event, all the work that we queued up last episode is basically done, so I started our altar on some more stuff, making some blessed stone, but all these crafting tasks are still sitting here because they're actually waiting for us to supply the last few items. So here, I need to give it the jetpacks, so let's just start doing that. Let's see, we have 24 creative jetpacks. So I should just be a matter of putting these in here. Yep, there we go, and they start crafting. And you should start pushing items here. Oh, it doesn't work like that on blocking mode. Alright, so let's see. Let me, I know what to do. Alright, I want to get rid of this chest first, but I don't want it to push more items into it. So I'll put one item there, just so that because it's in blocking mode, it still won't push items in. And then I can move all these items. And this item's stuck there because I don't think I ever put item conduits underneath here. Jeez. All this. I'm like configuring conduits for work that'll be done one time. I don't even know if it's worth it, but might as well do things right. Anyways. It's the last episode. You can watch me configure conduits, right? Alright, so now I don't need this chest anymore. And then all the items will get pushed that way, and I can turn off blocking mode. There we go. Cool, so would you look at that? Automated crafting. I think I still have a few more creative jetpacks as well. Alright, go. So that takes care of the capacitors. Next I need to jam the capacitors into here. So I don't need that chest either. Let's see, 24 of these. And of course, putting them in my inventory instantly drains my my flux capacitors, alas. Go. And I was about to say I shouldn't have any left over. 6 creative energy cells. Of these, I think 2 of them need to stay as energy cells, right? Yeah, 2 stay as energy cells. The others will keep getting crafted. So we'll stash these. Let's see. These are the materials for whatever the next step is. Creative reservoirs. Cool. And then I think what's the next step for reservoir? It has to creative drum. I don't think I've encoded this recipe yet, right? Because this is, yeah. So let's go encode the creative drum recipe and we'll keep working our way up the chain. Let's request all the stuff for a drum. Whoopsies. I guess I don't have that recipe yet. It's only one item, but to make the 4K, whatever, 4000K fluid storage cell, it takes 9 different patterns. It's the power of nested crafting. Good news is Applied Energistics handle nested crafting just fine, so I just have to find room to put these recipes. My crafters are starting to get pretty full though, but there's still enough room, I think, to get us through to the end. Alright, that ought to do it. So now, let's see. Drum, index 1. Oh. I think it's just another case of MBT data weirdness. So the ones that auto-imported here probably have slightly different MBT data than the ones that I craft. So we'll just, tell it to specifically use that type of cell. Oopsies. Working is hard when you lag this much. Come on, get picked up. It's also hard when you try to click the wrong item in, huh? Anyways, now I should be able to request drums. With any luck. I'll just do one. Yep. So that's that one, and this one's easy because I already have all the drums crafted. Alright, so once the package is done, I can encode the actual recipe and we can go request the drums directly. So much like before, the recipe is, index 0 plus index 1 makes a final item. Take this with me, put it in the interface, and request drums. Need 4 of them. So the first one will... I need platinum ingots, eh? Okay, I guess I'll make some platinum seeds real quick. This will likely be the last time we have to use our seed grower. Oh, how you've served me well, my friend. Thank you for saving many hours of gameplay. Anyways, while that levels the seeds up, I'll go craft our first drum, because I know we already have the materials for it. Because, it just grabs the 2 recipe packages we've already made. Alright, so that should dump it all in here. Store the recipe and give it one of the caches. Nice. So I'm not going to use the drum. I mean, we can reset it if we use it, I think. But there's simply no fluid that I need. I mean, I guess instead of making the platinum with seeds, I could have made it with fluids. But that's probably slower than making it with seeds. While we wait for the seeds to do their thing, let's turn all these piles of neutrons into some ingots. I think there's a few more things we can do before we have to take our, our break to let these machines run longer. So that's a lot of neutrons. Let's I think we can just turn all of them into ingots at this point. If I just do that. All right, so we have, let's see how many ingots that becomes. We have 0 to begin with, 27, cool. What I want to do with these is I want to make the blood tiers ahead of time, right? Because these take a neutronium ingot each. So it is 1 blood tier per, let's see, so it's 6 blood tiers per infinity ingot, so we need 12. Let's see if we can request them. I encoded this recipe a while ago, but I haven't tried it yet. 20k frozen stone. Yeah, this is going to take a little while, because crafting all this blocks of blood always takes forever. Something I probably should have background crafted a bit more than I did, but alas. These are what those demon hearts we gathered earlier were for. Alright, well, it's going to lag a bit when I hit the start button, because it's going to immediately drop 10,000 blocks of glass in the world, but whatever, go. Glass crafting. I really love my 1 frame rate. I also realized, you remember how I added all these mana pools yesterday? We don't actually need to craft the neutronium or the infinity ingot until after we have a creative mana pool. So, turns out we didn't really need to do this, but oh well, it's done now. So yeah, we have a lot of empty sockets to fill. Lag. I'm getting a lot of lag spikes on the late game here, geez. Anyways, this will probably take the better part of a couple hours, unfortunately, but if I get sufficiently impatient, I might cheat them in. Otherwise, I'll patiently-ish wait. Our platinum seeds have had a little while to produce, and I hope it's enough. Yeah, we have our 15k platinum. Alright, go for it. Start. So it'll take it a little bit because it still has to... Here, it still has to craft all these 1k components, but in 10-ish minutes, we'll make our other drums. While those drums craft, we may as well gather the last few components we need to make the mana pool, and that is we need 2 Caduceuses and a Leonard's wand each. So we need to fight Caduceus 4 times and Leonard twice. Alright, I made a system for this. Should be able to request Caduceuses. Oopsies. Out of our Thames and bottled Hellfire, hey? Fix that right up. So let's get these going now. Alright. I don't know why I didn't put the... Oh no, I do know why. Let's see. Right, because I only need 1 set of items at a time in here. Yeah. And then I have to move them into the user. Where are my items? Oh, it has to craft on the infusion table. Okay. Here we go. Time to kill some bosses. Of course, after killing all those Chaos Dragons, this doesn't seem all that impressive anymore, does it? Let's see. I went and killed like another 8 Chaos Dragons because I needed more Chaos Shards between episodes. Really sick of killing Chaos Dragons. I don't know. I guess I wouldn't mind if there were a recipe for it, an appropriate late game recipe. But then again, like you only kill maybe 20 total. It's not completely unreasonable. How long it takes for this boss to spawn, on the other hand, is pretty unbelievable. And the sword sucks. Oh. Woohoo, hard fight. Alright, I'll do that a few more times. Looks like doing those witchery bosses or bewitchment bosses has killed enough time for us to get our other creative drums. Alright, so turning these drums into mana pools, however, is going to have to wait until after our neutronium time skip. The last few things we need, with the notable exception of neutronium, of course, one, for all these empty sockets to get filled, and two, we need a few more keys. I think we need 4 total, or 4 more total, right? Because we have 6 here and 1 for each. Is it 1 per catalyst or 1 per ingot? I always forget. Looks like 1 per ingot. All right, so that's 4 more creative keys, and this shouldn't take too long. I think I already made the creative storage upgrades that go into it. So it just has to make like the death base and whatever else. All right. Small craft, all things considered. We have to do a little bit of a Drosium crafting. But yeah, nothing too special. Put it on one of the small CPUs. All right, cool. I estimate crafting all of these in one altar will take about maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours, which is a bit longer than I want to wait. However, if I just split the work up between 2 altars, let's see. This altar, which normally is crafting slates, I can just, turn off the slate crafting ability by flipping this switch, which I already have. And then instead of crafting slates, it'll just craft whatever, gets fed in through this hopper. In fact, I'll even abort this batch of slates because I don't need them anymore. And yeah, it'll craft these things instead, whatever they're called, blood-filled sockets. And it'll do, 64 at a time because that's how many the hopper will deliver. Anyways, by doing 2 at a time, then it'll be done in, sub an hour. I'm willing to wait that long. I thought about it. I can also convert this altar to do that. I even put the chest here, but I don't have like the item extraction infrastructure here. Not that that's terribly hard to set up, but I also can't like pull my blood orb for too long because I drain, like here, let me just show you. If I pull my blood orb, my LP network starts draining pretty darn quickly. So even though I have 30 million in it, like that'll only last a little while, right? I've already drained, almost 1%. Like I've already drained 2/3%. So yeah, it'll drain in like 20 minutes, which is probably not worth reconfiguring this altar at that rate. Kind of running out of things to do while I wait here, but I'll find them, or at least I'll find as many as I can. For now, we can make one of our infinity catalysts just because we have enough leftover neutronium. So I figured I'll encode the recipe and add it to our crafting table here. So infinity catalyst times 1. Go. I should dump everything in here, and all I have to do is encode it. All right. And then I'll run my item conduit back. I can't quite make the other 3 yet on account of lacking a bunch of things, but mostly neutronium. Well, primarily neutronium. There's I'm asking for way too much neutronium for this crafting plant to ever calculate. But it takes something, here, I can just tell you how much it takes, right? 8 ingots with another 12 nuggets, so basically 9 ingots each. I've officially run out of things to do without more neutronium. Next step, I think, is really the mana pool, but that takes, I forget how to remember, a bunch of neutronium blocks. So we're not there yet. Then given that, or I guess I could make this. Well, that's like a very simple craft, whatever. Given that, I think at this point, I will just wait for these ongoing crafts to finish. These time estimates are obviously worthless. I'd say, I don't know, half an hour to an hour should take care of all of these. And then we'll we'll take our time skip and come back when all our neutronium is crafted. Looks like all the crafting has finished, so it's time for our virtual time skip. By my calculation, our 12 neutron collectors here produce just about 30 ingots a day. So with the estimate that we need about 450 ingots, it'll be about a 15-day time skip, so 2 weeks. So I don't have any fancy animation, but wow, look at that. We have 450 neutronium ingots. Gee, I'm glad those 2 weeks went by quickly. So now that we have our neutronium... Oh, actually, there was something else I needed, and that was Octuple compressed cobblestone. Because this stuff, you know, I've been producing it with this cobblestone generator, and I managed to make 4 pieces. It takes basically 4 per infinity catalyst, so the 4 I made already used. So, yeah, we're going to need another 12 of these. Wow. Glad they're easy to come by. This would have also probably been somewhere around 15 days production to make 12 pieces of this, so... In any event, now that we have that, we can make our infinity catalysts for real. We have 1, so we need 3 more. Cool. Get that started. While that crafts, I think I can also make my everlasting guilty mana pools. I'll just craft these in a regular crafting table, so let me pull out the materials. We're crafting 1 more infused diamond, which is the last component I'm missing for a mana pool. I was 1 short on these. So once this craft finishes, we should be able to make our 2 creative mana pools. And then we can use 1 of them to craft our infinity ingots before we go, make the second one. Or before we use them both to craft into the satchel. Alright, here we go. And I didn't miss anything. 1 and 2. Nice. So to use these, I need obviously a spark, and I need a recessive augment. Basically, what this would do is, where do I want to put it to? I want to put it somewhere in some range of all of our mana pools. So, sure, we'll put it right here. This is reasonably centered. And then when we put the spark and a recessive augment on it, this spark will now send mana to every mana pool that, is not recessive, which is basically every mana pool, like every other mana pool. So I can turn this off, which pretty soon will cause our cakes to stop flowing once all the cakes get eaten. But now we no longer need these flowers to generate mana. Mana pool takes care of it. Alright, so now let's say I make, more mana pools. Sure, I have these 10. And they do need sparks, I believe. Let's get another 10 sparks. This is the first creative item that's actually somewhat useful. Oh, whoops, that's a creative mana pool. And I put the spark there, it'll automatically get filled by our creative mana pool. How cool is that? The mana sending limitation of sparks is also per connection. So because this mana pool can feed into all 50, there's about 50, right? Yeah, all 52 of these mana pools. And then all 52 of these mana pools can feed into our 1 Elven altar. When we craft the infinity ingot, it should go pretty quickly. And in fact, I think we're almost ready for that. Perhaps we even are ready. Let me go ahead and encode this recipe. These are all the inputs that go into the infinity ingot, I believe. Yeah, so let's store this recipe. I hope I still have room on my altar. That we do. And I should be able to request 2 infinity ingots. Yeah, easy as that. It's a very small recipe because, everything we already have. I'm actually somewhat curious. With this few items, why does it take 35,000 bytes? No clue. Anyways, start. And in just a second, we should see our altar kick in. Alright, so 50 mana pools have to be fed into it. This is actually going remarkably quickly. I was expecting it to take I don't know, 5 minutes, but looks like it'll take about a minute each. But since this is such an important keystone, I'm not going to cut away from it. I'll give it a little bit to craft. But once we have our 2 infinity ingots, I think that's really all that's left. We just have to put everything together here. All right, so infinity ingot number 1 is almost done. Now, once we're done making the creative satchel, my plan is I'll make a world backup to be, make that available as a world download. If you guys want to look at any of the systems I've made or whatever, that would be your place to do so. Ooh, infinity ingot. All right, second one. And, of course, then we have to blow everything up. So I think I'm going to also make the, Draconic Evolution reactors stuff to go ahead and blow everything up. This is a pretty cool view, too, standing here with, like, all the mana flowing past you. Looks like, I don't know, kind of like a snowstorm. Anyways, yeah, infinity ingot's almost done. And infinity ingot number 2. Alright, well, as much as I would love to keep this creative mana pool here, I need it now, so I need to pick it back up. Which means I may as well turn my cakes back on, at least for the time being. Jeez, it's so loud when they eat. Alright, this ought to do it. So these are the components for the satchel, barring any... Oh, I forgot both the satchels and the blood orb. 1 second. We have to take our blood orb out of whichever crafter it's sitting in. This one? Yeah. Thank you. Alright, this should do it. The last of the satchels. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So barring any MBT data weirdness, hey, we did it. It used our blood orb up. Not that it really matters. So this is an infinite item source. I think you put, an item in here and then you can get as many of them out as you want. I actually don't know. Can you change the item that's in here? Apparently you can. Hey, I want more than one wand. There we go. Oh, I guess if you shift click it, you clear it. All right. So yeah, technically, once you have this, then there's the game is basically over, right? If I, want more neutronium, just get more neutronium. So yeah, given that I'm not going to bother crafting anything anymore. This effectively represents the end of the pack. There are a couple more items. They all functionally are the same. Creative vending upgrade for drawers is the same. Creative buffer has similar behavior. So yeah. Creative Satchel, the end of Celestial Journey. Before we blow everything up too, I think it's nice to get a good, overhead view of our main base. There's like some things that are spread a bit, around in other dimensions, but this really is the bulk of it. So, looks like most of the space is taken up by magic things, the Mega Smeltery there, all of our Blood Altars, Botania stuff all around here. But yeah, let's have some conclusions while I start planning to blow everything up. So overall, how did I like the pack? I think it was wonderful. It really captured the essence of what Divine Journey really had going for it, and brought it to, gosh darn it, when you face the other way, brought it to the modern Minecraft era. So that was very good. Do you not even wrench? I hate this. I really enjoyed most of the mid and like the early game and mid game. It wasn't very grindy. It really fit into my play style of system building, right? Like I really enjoyed building out all of the stuff here and a lot of the crafting systems you see. The seed system here was super fun. And yeah, I'm glad that a pack gave me a need to build systems like this, automating the infusion altar. So yeah, I think the early game and mid game were spectacular. The lag is less good, but the late game I actually really enjoyed most of it, all the way up until let's see, is that the right way? No, I think that's the wrong way. All the way up until the neutronium grind, I'd say. It was really good. Basically, up to like maybe the first couple blocks of neutronium, I really enjoyed. Once we started needing, hundreds of thousands of neutronium. Is this still the wrong way? That's still the wrong way. Gosh darn it. Anyways, up until the first couple blocks of neutronium were all right, and then once we got to like the 20th block or ingot of neutronium was probably getting a little bit grindy for my tastes. I don't understand how the placement of these works. I think it just faces away from you all the time. That's not equally spaced. I'm really bad at building. But it was overcomable. There, some of the bugs with MBT data were annoying, but understandable. That's just when you start making very large custom recipes, it's more or less bound to happen. Happens in just about every expert mode pack that I've played. Just so happens that I'm probably among one of the first people to play the late game of this pack, so I had the both the privilege and the I had to run into all the bugs first, but I don't mind. It was fun. The pack developer was very good about addressing bugs, both blocking and non-blocking as they came up, so I have no complaints there. Overall, I wouldn't mind if the scope of some of the late game projects was turned down slightly, like that. The fact that I need 64 alchemy tables making, I don't even know what this is making, and all these alchemy tables making stuff like Glacius is probably a bit excessive. Again, we probably made a bit, I think if a single neutron collector were enough to power your late game, like if they produced, I don't think they're configurable, so there's very little like you can actually do about it, but if they could produce neutrons faster or something, that would be much better. But yeah. Anyways, I definitely enjoyed the pack a lot. Is this how I started up? I think that's good. I enjoyed the pack a lot. It is definitely one of my favorites of all time. I think this pack largely replaces Divine Journey in my favorites list, just by virtue of being more modern. Alright, well, anyways, once this warms up, I think I can turn it on. So when this video goes live, I'll include a link to the world download that I just made in the description. You can explore everything. I'll leave it in this state, so all you have to do to blow it up is hit the activate button, because I know everyone loves blowing stuff up. Alright, before you do so though, I highly recommend you set do entity drops and do tile drops to false. I know drawers in this pack will drop themselves as like like the zipped version, so they won't kill the game. But I with however much stuff is about to get blown up, I think if you don't set those, there's like a 0% chance your game will crash. Alright, well, hope I didn't miss anything. And thanks again, Celestial Journey, it was a treat. Actually, is this even going to blow up? I have to... Hold on, I'm the worst at blowing stuff up. Need trash cans. I might only need one. I think these are only inventories. Whoa, there they goes. Alright, that was quick. Can I get the UI? Alright, I think it gives me like 2 minutes to run away before it happens, so let's wait for the explosion to happen. I'm kind of curious how long is left. The thing as it expanded ate my injector, so I no longer know how much time I have. Can I click on these to see? There's still no estimate. I don't want to like sit here recording this for 5 minutes just for the explosion to happen. I mean, this is awkward. Also kind of curious if I hide it here. Well, I guess I'm not going to die to the explosion. I have draconic armor. Alright. There we go. 3 minutes. Alright, be back in 3 minutes. That felt like the longest 3-ish minutes of my life, but we're almost there. Can't wait for this all to be behind us. After this then, I'll be, as I've mentioned last episode, I'll be playing Rustic Waters. Ooh, that is an awesome animation. And we can see everything getting eaten a couple blocks at a time. It's neat to see what blocks survived the explosion. We can see our anvil falling. And we can see our frame rate falling. I'm not sure of this. Well, that was not too surprisingly, the game crashed. So I'm gonna try logging back in and see what happens. Alright, looks like the explosion did finish. Here's what's left. A big hole. All of our extreme crafting tables survived. What are these? These are some of my V batteries. And the lag is coming back, so I'll probably crash again very soon. In any event, thank you again, Celestial Journey. Thank you, Unhook, and everyone else who was involved in the development of this pack. Huge fun. So, for those of you that want more of my content, I will be back with Rustic Waters starting, I'm not sure, maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after. Starting soon. Look forward to that. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.